Well, let's be clear. The assets they're getting are the draft picks. The John Lure, John Brockman, and Sean Livingston are absolutely no assets whatsoever to get Dwight Howard. But I don't think they. I mean, if they're the picks they have aren't going to get Dwight Howard. You don't trade arguably the best center in the league. I'm pretty down on Dwight Howard, but you don't trade that much of a force for 3 mid-round picks, albeit a deep draft. I mean, they're even, and some people say they can throw in Kyle Lowry. Nah, he was pretty good last year, then suffered the injury. I just don't see. I mean, and you can also, and then what else they have? Just more above average Scola. I don't think, if I'm the Magic, regardless if he's going to be gone in a year or not, that is not enough to take a one top center or second best center in the league.
Certainly, Rockets GM Daryl Morey doing everything he can. Do you think he can get into the lottery? Try to get maybe a Thomas Robinson with the 5th pick, something like that?
He can definitely move into the lottery. I'd say, there are teams trying to move out, like the Kings. Raptors trying to move out pretty hard, yes. So he can get in the lottery, but what does he want in the lottery? I know they want to go big, but sitting at 14, I mean, Drummond's a huge question mark. Is that who they're trying to get? You can move up there and maybe get him then. Or do you sit back and hope Myers Leonard falls to you? Do you take one of the, flux, Tyler Zeller was going to probably be sitting there, one of those two, or do you take one of the flux of power forwards, Mo Harkless, 3-4, Moultrie from Mississippi State. He's kind of a head case, but maybe a Royce White type. He's a small forward. You go Nicholson from St. Bonaventure. I mean, there'll be big guys there. It's just how high are they on Drummond? And I think I'd rather sit with 3 mid-round picks than move up late lottery and try to nab somebody like Drummond.
All right, let's move on now. In the very beginning of the podcast, you mentioned being a Timberwolves fan, partial, along with the Suns. They just made a trade to get Chase Budinger for the 18th pick in the first round. Was that a good trade or bad trade for the Timberwolves?
Oh, man, I don't. Experts are saying it's an all right deal. Aldridge said it's what the Timberwolves need. I just don't. Maybe it's because I love that May draft and I like the excitement around it, so I like having teams I like pick, but looking at this, I mean, Timberwolves flat out need a Wes Johnson replacement. Just a Wes Johnson replacement. He plays shooting guard. It is very hard to watch basketball when J.J. Barea and Luke Ridner are at the court at the same time because other teams just abuse them defensively. I mean, I had to watch Ron Artest crush the Timberwolves in a game because he just posted up Ridner the whole game. They need a 2-guard. Wes Johnson is potentially the worst player in the NBA. So, seeing that, I was really excited about sitting at 18, hopefully getting a 2-guard. Now it looks like a lot of the Terrence Rosses, Jeremy Lambs, they've risen where they might not have nabbed one, but I still think you take that risk, wait till draft day, see how it's unfolding, and try to hope a Terrence Ross, Austin Rivers, one of these guys falls to you, and now you got a pretty good team going forward. Chase Budinger, I don't see it. You're a Timberwolves fan, Charles. What do you think of Budinger in this deal?
Well, I don't think it's worth the 18th pick to get Chase Budinger, but he brings some stuff to the table. He plays solid defense, I think. Can knock down threes if he's open. I mean, he's athletic, maybe the white version of Wes Johnson and a little better, but
why would that be something they want then?
Well, exactly. I think he's a little better than Wes Johnson and a little more proven. But certainly
a little better is not something you should trade. That's so what? He's the 470 best player instead of 480?
I'm certainly saying that the trade was not maybe worth the 18th pick. But I don't know if it'll turn out terribly wrong for the Timberwolves.
I'll tell you another reason I don't like the deal either is because I wouldn't mess with Daryl Morey. I think he's a smart GM. It's kind of one of those, if you're a baseball fan, the Twins had that rep. Certainly not now. Before after the Liriano deal, the Johan teams might have been weary of trading. They've won a lot of deals in a row.
David Kahn does not have that
reputation. The David Kahn versus Daryl Morey, and Kahn did a decent job last summer, but I don't know about Rittenauer. But I'm not messing. If Daryl Morey's trading Chase Budinger, there's got to be some flags there because they played a lot of guys last year. They had a pretty 10-guy rotation. And if they're willing to give up on him for the 18th pick, if I'm the Timberwolves, I'm trying to get a little more out of that.
All right, the other team you're a big fan of, the Phoenix Suns.
Yep.
Best case scenario for them picking in the lottery this year.
their only hope is Steve Nash returns. So their best case scenario to get Steve Nash to return would be Anthony Davis falling 13 spots. Not happening. So Nash is gone. They're going to be terrible next. I'm expecting them in the 2013 draft to pick at the top because Nash made them. I mean, it's incredible what he did, really. Because now you look at their roster coming back. We have Bassie Telfair at the point right now. I don't know. We got Shannon Brown, Jared Dudley. I don't know what Grant Hill's going to do for him. Gortat, Robin Lopez, Channing Frye. That's a terrible team. I don't know if any of those, not many of those guys are on the rotations of the championship teams we just watched. So they're going forward. They're picking at 13. They need about anything. I'm hoping they get a wing that can score. Lately, Jeremy Lamb's been going there. I'd like that. He's got a lot of potential. I feel played well off Kemba. UConn was in such a dysfunctional situation last year. Terrence Ross would be all right. I like a 6'7" shooter who can play multiple positions. So somebody like that, I'd like him to get. But really, they could draft, anything besides something like a Tyler Zeller, and they're probably going to be playing next year.
A lot of people argue the best way to improve, get out of the lottery, is to build through the draft, and you got to basically tank to get there. Basically what the Timberwolves have done the last few years. That a strategy that the Suns want to play?
I tell you what, they're not going to need to tank. Tanking implies that you're trying to lose. They could play their hardest every night, and they're going to lose next year unless something drastic happens. Paying Josh Childress, Lord knows how much. I mean, they've just made some bad moves lately. Giving away Dragic for Aaron Brooks. Come on. Just some stupid deal. So I'm telling right now who I want them to take would be somebody like Perry Jones, because coming into the year he's a top 5 pick. Chad Ford's said some pretty bad things about him. I was reading today that he just has no hope for him because he has no competitiveness, doesn't want to take shots. Well, hopefully the Suns can spark that. I don't know, but it's going to take something like that where they just hit on a super risky guy that's fallen a lot. Andre Drummond will be there, but it'd be somebody that's just bam. They've hit big on to turn them around, and that's really their only hope. Other than that, they're going to be in the Shabazz and Noel running in 2013 draft.
All right, we've talked about some lottery players like Beal, Kid Gilchrist. Maybe not really in the middle of the lottery. Who are some guys you like who maybe can have a good solid NBA career, like Damian Lillard, Austin Rivers, some of those guys?
Lillard, Weber State, I don't know how big of an impact he's going to have. I really like Deion Waiters. Just watching him in that NCAA tournament, I think he had charisma, just unafraid, loves taking big shots. So you put him in the middle of that lottery, and I think he could be a guy that you hit it big on, somebody that's going to be a Monta Ellis, just a scores in bunches type guy. And I mean, if you hit big, who knows how competitive he can finish at the rack cart. Chad Ford today said he had a little D Wade in him. So you hear that, I think that's somebody just. I like his scoring ability. I like his competitiveness at Syracuse. That's somebody I like in the middle of the lottery. Another person. I said those shooters I like, the Terrence Rosses, the Jeremy Lambs. I don't know. They're late lottery, possibly out of the lottery. The big question, I think, is Andre Drummond. He's a head case. I mean, people don't know. He's crazy. But there are comps to Dwight Howard on him. How do you not take that chance? If you're sitting mid-lottery and you're looking at guys like John Henson and Zeller and Myers Leonard, why aren't you taking a potential Dwight Howard beast? I think that's worth a risk. Especially if if you're sitting around 7 through 13. So that's a name. I'm intrigued to see what he does, because hearing people talk about him, it doesn't sound good. But if you're getting Dwight Howard comparisons because you're built like that and you're that athletic, coming out of high school, he was a top recruit. I'd take a chance on him, I think.
All right, so pretty much wraps up the show. In these last final minutes, just final thoughts the night before the draft. What looking forward to? What are you thinking?
Just, I hope more people watch it. We always play a game where we try to guess each pick what's going to happen. Other things I'm hoping I see Zach Miner tomorrow night. Some of you listeners might know Zach. One of my favorite draft stories was probably about 5 or 6 years ago, where Miner's over watching it with us, and he's just a huge Bulls fan. And all he's telling us the whole night is that James Curry is going to the Bulls in the second round. And he just been saying it, just talking about how high it was. Like he's a beat writer for him, because sure enough, second round comes up. Minor sticks around for the second round. He's actually, I think he had left, but sure enough, the pick comes. James on Curry. I called him right away, and I told you so, and yeah. So hopefully, I can run into Minor tomorrow night. He'll probably tell us who the Bulls are taking. He probably knows already. I don't know. It's like him and he's just buds with he's some beat writer there. He knows. It's crazy what he knows. So that's a memory I have, something I'm looking forward to. I'm just excited to be able to discuss it afterwards. I hear the next podcast will happen sometime afterwards. Fick will be here. Maybe we can talk post-NBA draft, little MLB All-Star game, which is coming up as well. So, just looking forward to tomorrow night.
All right, so I think that pretty much does it for the debut Nick Fickbaum, Taylor Johnson podcast without Nick Fickbaum this time. Look forward to hearing from him. Stay tuned. Keep updated, and we'll get you some more podcasts. See ya.